We're live now.
Yeah, we are live. Namaste, Mr. Rakshit Tandon.
Namaste, namaste.
Welcome to our Monday InspireX experience conversation, as we call. And we tried to create and recreate and redefine our work during the lockdown, and we began with these conversations in the month of June. And we said, we have so many beautiful, wonderful communities that we are inspiring, wonderful people, and the communities that we are sitting with, why not bring them on the live and learn something more about them? So on Mondays we have InspireX conversation series with our Rex Karamveer fellows from all the 17 years that we have been working with them. And you are a Maharatna this year.
Puruskar, Jyoti
Puraskar,
Puruskar.
yes. So this year, and from the cohort of 2019, and on Wednesdays, Mr. Tandon, we have our youth fellows that we bring on for conversation. We call it Youth Experience. And on Thursdays, we began about 2 months back. We get HR people from across the country who are doing some great work and in the HR in the corporates, and using the human capital to shift the mindset and really work towards that. And on Fridays, we have learning experience where we bring our community of educators and education leaders for conversation that are much needed here. And on Sundays, we also started an author experience with authors who are trying to use the might of their pen to bring in the shift in the mindset of the people. And so,
Perfect.
welcome once again, Rakshit ji.
Thank you. It's an honor. It's an honor to be here, and I have my own wonderful experiences and with Rex itself, and I still remember my first bronze Puruskar, and the whole day I spent with the when I met all those fellows, I was feeling so small that what I have done, but it really inspired me also. When I got the bronze and I heard Jerry and all of you, when I saw, and that word I remember, Jerry, mojo, the mojo inside you,
Yes, the
and
Mojosh.
it kept the mojosh, and that kept on driving, and I'm so honored and grateful that I've been a part of this journey with Rex, and I've been last year the Karamvi Jyoti Puruskar also.
Yes,
So
Jyoti.
again, thank you so much for bringing me.
Yes. So I have seen even with the journey of you also, following your path and following and being this, you're the cyber guru of India. But before we
That's
go into the details, and you're much, the person who's always wanted these days for the best of, because we've moved from the in the new world, we are in the digital world, and
right.
you are the rescuer of the digital world. But before I begin to ask you anything, I'd like you to take the audience and the people listening into you through your life journey and tell us about your life.
So thank you, Tuji, and uh, as it always happens, you don't know what you want to become, and you're always at the crossroads. But my journey was a bit different. I was born and brought up in a family of doctors, right from my great great grandfather to my great grandfather, my grandfather, my father, my uncle, my own younger brother, and my cousins around me. Everybody was renowned and MBBS and doctors and MD and specialized. So, like when you're born in a family like this, and I remember fifth and sixth grade onwards, you start getting these questions in your classroom. What do you want to become when you grow up? And the answer
Right,
is, I want to become a doctor. And
right,
that is how we were. And that I did my schooling. Say I completed my 12th in around early 90s, and that time also, like, there was no such coachings or something like that. But yes, we wanted to become a doctor. So I prepared after my 12th. I went through those cycles of CPMT, All India Medical. The first year I failed. Again, there was a lot of pressure that what do you want to become? If you not succeed, will you become a compounder or something? And I was like, no, I want to do something. And the second year I tried and I got admission.
Hmm.
And I was admitted into a medical college in Uttar Pradesh. But I went through a very hard phase in the first 3, 4 days of strict, very stringent ragging that time in medical
Okay.
colleges. And
Hmm.
that really broke me. And I said, I sorry, I can't do this.
Hmm.
And I came back. And then my family was that, what will you do? You have left all your certificates there. Everything was deposited in that colleges and all. You have to go back. And I said, no, I'm not going back.
Hmm.
And I was so puzzled. I had already wasted 1.5 years after 12th, and I had no direction to go for. And I said, I'm going for a bachelor's degree.
Hmm.
And I quietly went out and I joined a course in computer science, master's in computer science. And now the irony was that in our schools, there was no computers at that time. So I had never been introduced to a computer. So I did my 12th. I got into bachelor's degree, first year graduation, and I have never seen a computer in my life. And what happens when you become 18? So whatever savings and all your parents are doing now in your account, you become major. You are entitled to the bank account. And that was a phase when I had my own checkbook and I saw, wow, there is some a good amount in that, some decent amount. And I joined a master's computer degree with my own money. And I said, I'm going in for computers. The first month was so exciting, and my classes used to be for approximately 4 hours a day, and I used to be there for 18 hours a day in that institute. And I used to play with computer, explore programming, and that's how it all started. And after 6 months, I was offered a job to be a part-time trainer in the same company. So my course was going on, and I became a part-time trainer. And then I became a full-time trainer. And then finally, I decided to start my own company, and that was in again computers in Agra. I started a software solution, software development, and training company, and that's it. That was the beginning of Rakshit Tandon in computers. I started with my own name. It was called TSP, Tandon Solution Provider, and I used to develop softwares. I used to assemble hardwares also. I used to assemble computers myself. I
Hmm.
used to develop networks and kept exploring and upgrading myself. And then there was a time when I used to program in approximately 42 computer languages. And my professor who was teaching me, he used to call me a compiler because in computer language, a compiler is who just runs the program. So they used to give me a problem and I used to do it on in my mind. I didn't need a computer and keyboard. And that's how I became so passionate for computers. And then I was doing very well in my small, you can say a small business center which I opened. When the police started coming up to me for issues of cyber and digital crime investigation, and there was the first case which triggered my journey into the cyber safety and security was one, I would say two cases. One was
Hmm.
a young girl being blackmailed online by
All
some
right.
anonymous person, and
Okay.
second was somebody cheated a huge amount, 4 crore rupees, by putting a bug in a computer program or something.
Yeah.
And these two
So
cases which I
Rakshit,
solved.
I'd like to interrupt you here, and I want to ask you more questions from what you shared with us because there's a lot of learning coming out from there. One is, which is this medical college that you went to?
It was a Bareilly, a medical college in Bareilly,
Yeah.
and that's where I went. And from there, my whole U-turn started. I came
Yeah.
into
So there
computers.
is always a blessing in disguise. There's always a learning
Always
in
a
it.
blessing in disguise. Yes, yes,
And also it showed you that you like something else. There is a
yes.
computer
And
fitted in your head. And I think no matter what technology brings to us, nothing to kind of beat the human touch, the human empathy, the human emotional intelligence. and
right,
and your work, although linked so much with technology, but it also carries with it a lot of human factor, the
yes,
humane factor with it. Would you agree with that?
100%. It was always like that because my sensitivity towards people to be safe online. And
Mm.
especially the young children, when I started seeing that technology can also groom you, it was a very good groomer. So it can groom you positively also and negatively also. And what
True.
I was seeing was because of lack of mentorship and lack of guidance,
Yeah, right.
training and technology is available. You pay money and you can get trained. So anybody can learn how to shoot with a pistol, but where and what is he going to do with that pistol? That is important.
Yeah, yeah.
So my concern was that, and that is what came into my sessions. I more of counseling, more of giving them the right direction,
Right.
and especially telling them the laws, the digital wellness factor of internet,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
cyber hygiene factor with young kids. That
Yes.
was, and that
I
is what
like
you
the word
rightly
you're
said.
using, cyber hygiene, but I'm still in your childhood. And I'm wanting to ask, you used a very beautiful word. We at Mojo Inspirator and we at Rex celebrate this word. And we are here on a mission to untaboo this word, which is called failure. And you said you failed and you didn't work, it didn't work for you. But do you do
And
you
that was
do you understand the value of failure? It's such a huge
yes, and
big teacher.
that is what. Yes, yes, and I really want when I meet young children, I see they break so easily. They think they can't do anything. There's no guidance, and they're at crossroads. I said we didn't even have roads at that time. You are saying that you are at crossroads. We didn't even and at any options also, and still we failed, and we had to bear the pressure of that failure. And with that, there was something inside that mojo, you call it, the fire was there. No, I have to prove myself. Yes, it created some negative points, I would say, in your personality of being a little insecure. But that
Mm,
insecurity also, we turned it into a positive opportunity. When I got a chance, I still remember my first breakthrough where I was getting into this public domain and I was getting recognition was one of the first conferences I did in Uttar Pradesh Police in Agra in with 2,000 police officers from across the country.
mm,
And I was the opening speaker of that 2 days important conference. It was hosted by the Uttar Pradesh Police, and 2,000 officers were there. And I still remember that day, the kind of nervousness I had inside me because till that time, yes, I was helping police, I was doing small school sessions, I could talk to small audiences, 100 audiences, knowing that they don't know anything. But talking
mm,
to people of acclaimed police officers, IPS officers coming across the
mm,
country, and that too at a national cybercrime conference,
mm,
February 2008. And uh, and I did it, and that was, I could call it my launching pad, where the first organization and government of India identified the potential and said, "You coming to Delhi, and now you have to educate 2.5 lakh children in the country." And that is where I started my journey of safe surfing, where I started traveling back to back tirelessly without looking at the remuneration part, which was not even that enough at that time. If you calculate, and people today they talk of figures. So what is my package? What is my package? I remember I started with 400 rupees a month. And the day I got that 400 rupees, the second month I purchased the scooter for myself. And that I used to pay 1,200 rupees installment for that scooter. And I've gone through that journey. And then this was when I look back, to the whole work until date, like for me today, if somebody tells me to work 24 hours, I'm ready to work 24 hours when it comes to the nation and when it comes to protecting my people online. So there is no timeline limit for me.
I know. Mr. Tandon, when I first heard about you was almost about 10 years back when my daughter in a boarding school sent me some notes that she had got from your session. And she said, are you following all this, Mama? Are you taking care of all this? And we had the most beautiful session, she said, with taking your name. And that's when I was introduced to what you do. And then, of course, again, my husband in a corporate, talked about your session again. And of course, then your Rex journey. So you're also called the cyber guru. So, this journey from 400 rupees a month to being called the cyber guru of India. Tell us about that.
So
Tell
as
us
I
about the
mentioned,
cyber guru.
See, that is what people give you respect. But then when I did this conference, that was a phase where I was helping a lot of, you could say, law enforcement officers solving
Hmm.
the cases, and I did some big breakthrough cases. And one of a very good friend, I would say, who plays a very important role. There were two very important people, I would say. One was who is right now additional director general of police. At that time, he was a director and general police of our city, Shri Kamal Saxena sir, and a very close dear friend who was a very senior editor and journalist, very popular journalist, Shri Anand Sharma with Dainik Jagran.
Hmm.
So he plays a very important role. So he started saying that you have so much of knowledge and people lack this knowledge. So I will write a column for you.
Hmm.
And the column he named was in Dainik Jagran. It used to publish every Thursday.
Hmm.
Every Thursday, a big column. I used to give a input on every small, right? How to use a mobile safely, how to use Google, Yahoo. I used to tell them, and they started this column by the name IT Guru,
Okay.
and that is how I got that title. And my first acknowledgement was by Mumbai Police and Mumbai Cyber Cell in
Hmm.
2015, and they gave me the Cyber Guru of the Year award.
Congratulations.
and then I started mentoring children. I wanted more people, and this was again one of our a very senior officer and a very respected officer in Haryana, Shri Alok Mittal sir. He said, Rakshit, how can we have more Rakshit Tandon like you? And that is where we conceived the concept called Gurugram Police Summer Internship, where we started mentoring students in cybersecurity. Every year, we used to pick up a bunch of students, train them free of cost. And I'm proud in saying that today they are all better cyber gurus than me and doing very good in their life, and especially for the country. Right, we
That,
started
that,
in
that,
2013
yeah.
and it's still continuing.
That is so beautiful. And we at Rex and in Amojosh Inspirator program and the book that Jerry has written, we talk about Guru as a person, and also the word. If you break down the word Guru, the Gu means darkness and Ru means light. Someone who brings light into the life, and that's exactly what you've been doing. You've been actually enlightening people about the cyber sensitivity, cyber hygiene, as you call. And another thing that you've highlighted here is that true leaders create leaders. So you have been creating more gurus and more Rakshit Tandons, as you say, which is the need of the hour as well.
Better Rakshit Tandon, not
Yeah.
better than me.
Yeah. So Rakshitji, I'd like to ask you that your work has been cyber security, sensitizing. You have probably sensitized 3.1 million students from 25 states.
4.5.
Now it's become 4.5.
4.5.
Great.
4.5.
And on child online protection. So I'd like you to talk
Yes.
about, this is a very important aspect, more so now when we have shifted completely online. The world which was an option earlier, the digital world,
Yes.
is now a necessity. And
Compulsory.
more students starting from age group of 3, who would generally not sit down on the computer and take their classes like that, are now doing that. So how important it is, I want you to talk about the child online protection work that you were doing and how it has shifted now in the last 1 year.
It is in this last 1 year, the first thing which happened was that schools became cyber schools. And before becoming cyber schools, the issues were that still they were having issues, schools were having issues where I used to go and address about social media, cyber bullying, cyber stalking, and addiction to gaming, addiction to social media. So these were the concerns before, that was
Hmm.
pre-COVID.
Right.
And when post-COVID came, and this during the COVID times, when the schools became cyber schools, ये एक
Hmm.
टाइम था जब स्कूल में पीटीएम्स के अंदर पेरेंट्स से कहा जाता था बच्चों को फोन से दूर रखिएगा, उनको
Right.
रिस्ट्रिक्टेड टाइम दिया करिए, कंप्यूटर्स मत दिया करिए, इंटरनेट मत दिया करिए. और कुछ स्कूल तो बड़े स्ट्रिक्ट थे, उनके यहाँ तो ये भी पॉलिसीज थी कि आप सोशल मीडिया पे अकाउंट भी नहीं बना सकते. ऐसी कंडीशंस होती थी. और
Right.
अचानक से एक रात के अंदर जब सब बदला, और फिर स्कूल खुद कह रहा है कि साहब बच्चे को फोन दो, बच्चे को इंटरनेट दो, बच्चे को लैपटॉप दो। तो वहां एक सिचुएशन है, और इसी के लिए मैं तैयार कर रहा था, मतलब दैट इज व्हाट आई वांटेड टू डू। आई वाज लुकिंग एट इट सिंस 2012 दैट वी शुड हैव, मतलब I say this, I don't know, people might take it in a different sense, but very pure sense I'm saying कि हमें अब मॉरल साइंस पढ़ाने की जरूरत नहीं है, हमें ई मॉरल साइंस पढ़ाने की जरूरत है, क्योंकि हमारा सब कुछ तो ऑनलाइन है, हमारी पढ़ाई ऑनलाइन है, हमारा गुस्सा ऑनलाइन है, हम गेम्स ऑनलाइन खेलते हैं, हम अपना खाना ऑनलाइन खरीद सकते हैं, हम पेमेंट्स ऑनलाइन करते हैं। यहाँ तक कि आज मतलब मैं इतने सेशंस मैंने किए कोविड-19 में, सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग की वजह से हम अपनी फैमिलीज की गैदरिंग भी जूम पे कर रहे थे। मतलब मेरा ब्रदर, आई कैन नॉट गो टू माय ब्रदर्स प्लेस एंड ही वाज सेलिब्रेटिंग हिज बर्थडे एंड वी ऑल फैमिली वर ऑन द कैमरा सीइंग दैट एंड वी वर क्लैपिंग हियर लाइक दिस। तो सब कुछ बदला है, और मैं इसी की तैयारी करना चाहता था, एंड दैट इज द वर्ड आई यूज वाज कि ये तीन चीजें हमें अब आज की तारीख में समझ में आया, क्योंकि during this what happened, there were lots and lots of issues. What happened, teachers, first let's start with all the stakeholders. Teachers were not ready. Teachers were not ready. Second, children, they had always treated internet as a second. It was never for education, never for education. So the seriousness level was like internet है, आओ गेम खेलते हैं, गाने सुनते हैं, वीडियोस देखते हैं, और कोई एक फेक अकाउंट बना के किसी चलो लड़की को छेड़ते हैं, कोई गलत कमेंट कर देते हैं, किसी की गर्दन यहाँ से काट के नीचे कोई और बॉडी फिट करके कुछ मीम्स बनाते हैं। उन्होंने शुरू से इंटरनेट को वैसे कंज्यूम किया था। Their consumption to internet was always on the मतलब enjoyment and the entertainment side. बहुत कम थे, बहुत there were some schools, yes, I would not say all, but there were few schools who had got into that e-learning process and they were doing some online projects, they had computers at school, but नहीं था। तो उसमें the two things were missing, netiquettes were missing and cyber hygiene, as I mentioned earlier, was missing. So today for online child care, what happened has happened now, but now the schools have gone through this process. They initially had a transition phase. Every day there used to be a complaint that some meeting is happening and somebody entered, he bombarded the class with some obscene content. The problem was, the sad part is that there's so unmoderated content on internet, and responsibility वाला word कोई नहीं सिखाता है ना बच्चे को। रियल लाइफ में तो आप भी अपनी छोटी बेटी को हाईवे पे गाड़ी लेके नहीं भेजोगे, क्योंकि वो अभी माइनर है and she doesn't have a license in real life. But when it comes online, I was sitting in with some friends and families, and I came to know that their 13-year-old children are consuming a game which is 18 plus rated on mobile. Are you getting what I'm saying? So आज मोबाइल पे हम कोई भी चीज डाउनलोड करके चला लेते हैं, और हम ये तक नहीं देखते हैं कि उसके नीचे छोटा सा लिखा हुआ है एज रेटिंग। यहाँ से वो रियल लाइफ में हमने ये सब संस्कारों में सिखाए थे कि नहीं भाई, शादी की एज 18 के बाद ही होती है। 16 साल की उम्र में कोई बच्चा शादी.com पे अपनी अकाउंट नहीं बनाता है। लेकिन हाँ साहब, आपको 8 साल का बच्चा टिकटॉक पे भी दिखेगा और इंस्टाग्राम पे भी दिखेगा। इज ही रेडी फॉर दैट कंटेंट? Is he ready to understand what is social media? Does he have resilience? I was scared. I got goosebumps in one of the webinars when a 6-year-old asked me, sorry, not 6-year-old, 6th standard girl. She asked me, sir, nobody likes me on internet. Why are you saying that, bache? Well, sir, I only get 6 likes on my picture. They say I am ugly on internet. Can you tell me so that I can get more likes on my picture? I was zapped. I was zapped. I could see the mental pain there, that small mental pain coming out in that question. So this is my concern. I'm not against social media. I'm not against games, but I want that the child should also understand the e-sanskar. That how.
Yeah, but Rakshit ji, isme, in all of this, it's very very alarming. And it's very, very sensitive, and it's very important that here parents need to be more diligent and deliberate into reading that small content, and also seeing that, how the lessons of learning are left completely to the school or to the computer teacher. Where is parenting and where is your role? Because that can never be negated. That can never be said that it's all the duty of the school.
No, we can't do that.
It is with the school, with the parents.
like schools have given us books, schools have given us syllabus, they have given us good teachers. Now today, same they are giving us. They are delivering the same content. Only thing has changed. Technology has come in between.
Yeah.
So
But
cyber
don't you think
parenting.
such sessions should be with the parents as well?
That's yes. I do agree, and especially for the younger ones, very young
Absolutely.
ones.
Even
Yes,
older. Hmm.
ma'am, because younger ones when they go through this old content ना, तो
Right.
उनके साथ grooming बहुत जल्दी negative हो जाती है. They get
Ah,
into they don't even understand what is right and what is wrong. So and I have been getting some very sensitive cases here where young children, they, I don't know in what mind sense, they have shared inappropriate pictures with n number of friends online. And now, when they are little grown up and a little mature, those pictures are coming in front, and now they are getting scared. They cannot tell their parents, and now they are being bullied or something on that. So that is where I call it cyber parenting is very important.
absolutely.
Technology parenting. You just
Right.
can't skip away saying कि मेरा बच्चा मोबाइल में बहुत एक्सपर्ट है, मैं तो बच्चे से सीखती हूँ और मैं इस बात पे बड़ा प्राउड फील कर रहा हूँ. आई एम सॉरी.
No.
आप एक मतलब एज अ पेरेंट हमने हमेशा बच्चे का हाथ पकड़ा है, हमने हाथ पकड़ के उसको संभाला है. मैं नहीं कह रहा उससे हो क्या रहा है, मुझे जो डर लगता है ना देख के बच्चों से बात करके, वो एकदम फ्रीडम देने के नतीजे ये हुए हैं इंटरनेट पे कि वो प्री मेच्योर अडल्ट की तरह बिहेव करने लगते हैं. उनका वो चाइल्डहुड वो दिखता ही नहीं है मुझे. आई गिव यू वन इंस्टेंस. अभी
That
वो बड़ा.
innocence is gone.
हाँ, so why device control is important? I'll just share an example. You must have read it in the news also.
Hmm.
A lady in US, she was shocked when she received the 11 lakh rupee bill of a
Hmm.
credit card where her 6-year-old child has done
Hmm.
online shopping on a gaming application on her iPad, which was linked to her Apple account. A 6-year-old. And the bill was 11 lakh rupees.
Hmm.
So today we have all gone online. Everything is online. I also have a one press of button and I can pay an amount of money from my account. But
Hmm.
that does, हमें आज भी याद है हमारे पिताजी हमें 5 रुपए देते थे तो लौट के जब स्कूल से आते थे तो we used to give a penny. पूरी बैलेंस शीट बना के देनी पड़ती थी उनको कि हमने कहाँ कहाँ खर्च किया. लेकिन
Hmm.
आज ठीक है, आज बच्चे इन्फ्लुएंसर्स हैं ऑनलाइन, वो अपनी
Hmm.
इनकम खुद कर रहे हैं. दे आर इनटू थाउजेंड्स, उनको लाइक्स और उस पे दे गेट पेड पार्टनरशिप्स. So their technology parenting, I think, has to play a very, very important role. And
True.
not we cannot put everything on the school. School is giving you the platform. School ने बेचारों ने online, आप सोचो, मैं तो टीचर्स को कोविड वॉरियर्स बोलता हूँ. उन्होंने पूरे कोविड टाइम में बच्चों की एजुकेशन रुकने नहीं दी. और
True.
अब उनके लिए सबसे बड़ी मुसीबत होगी जब ये ऑनलाइन बच्चे वापस आएंगे इनके.
Yeah. Yeah.
तो वी हैव टू रियली सैल्यूट देम. एंड यू वोंट बिलीव दे यूज्ड टू गेट पेन्ड कि जब वो क्लास लेते थे और बीच में कोई घुस गया कि कोई अब्यूज कर रहा
I
है
I
कोई.
I have heard a lot of stories from people in my family and from my friends' children.
Everywhere it has happened, everywhere in
Yes.
schools and colleges, because children were trying to enjoy the freedom of internet.
Yeah.
Why? Because they were never taught about cyber laws. They never knew what is right, what is wrong. उनको आज भी मैं जाता हूँ, इतनी अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम्स करता हूँ और मैं बड़े बड़े इंस्टीट्यूट्स में जाता हूँ, उनको साइबर लॉ की डेफिनेशन नहीं पता है. उनको ये
Yeah.
बचपन से सिखाया गया चोरी करना क्राइम है, गंदी बात नहीं करते, किसी को मारते नहीं है, लेकिन उन्हें ये नहीं सिखाया कि किसी का
ये
अकाउंट हैक
online
करना
भी
क्राइम
same
है.
rules use होते हैं.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
online etiquette, online moral science, device control, these are the words that are just coming out and they're so very important. And I think, as you said, that it is not only sensitizing the students, but also sensitizing the society, sensitizing the parents. Because uh, don't you think as a society also we've got a free run that anyone can do anything?
Yes, yes. So we have to respect. See, Supreme Court has very clearly said in India that privacy is a fundamental right, and I think somewhere it goes out when people start posting anything without anybody's permission and consent, any kind of content, and they are creating examples. See, what I'm more concerned, that is always I say, I use this word, that create good content. You
Right.
create good content on social media so that you create good examples for the coming up juniors, for our juniors and our young ones. Now, what we are creating MMS, which are wrong, which are abusive, which are violent. So people think अरे इसी पे ज्यादा likes आते हैं, यही ज्यादा viral होता है, so let's create
Bilkul.
that kind of a content. तो एक
Right.
चीज तो ये है. So we have to teach people on social media also the well-being. and adults should also understand. Children learn from us, so the first netiquette comes from me only. So if I'm driving a car and I'm taking a call, I can't stop my son doing that when he's driving a car and taking a call. So I think that's what you rightly mentioned, that it comes from home. And we as adults are also very, and you have seen, and especially during the COVID-19 period, the cybercrime has taken a huge leap, a very
Yeah.
huge leap, and the numbers have gone high. And the hackers have become sophisticated in phishing and stealing your online hard-earned money by hacking accounts. यहाँ तक कि इधर लॉकडाउन में रोज एक दिन एक कंप्लेंट आ रही थी कि जेरी के नाम से अकाउंट बना है और जेरी के नाम के अकाउंट से मेरे पास मैसेज आ रहा है कि रक्षित जरा मेरे पेटीएम में 5,000 रुपए डाल दो, बहुत अर्जेंट है. अब I know Jerry personally, so I'll call Jerry and ask you whether it's your account. So these were the
Right.
cases which I was getting so much, where people were making fake profiles and then getting into your contact list and sending
And
desperate message कि भाई कुछ पैसा
yeah.
दे दो. So all kind of things were happening. So it is both. If you are an online citizen, you have to be aware of what is happening around. Number one, you should know
Mm,
the safety and security of your device and
mm.
your application,
Uh,
what you are using.
I'd like you to kind of delve on that.
On
The security of your device, because
uh,
let the people watching and know a little more, because we'd like to educate since you're
तो
with us on that
जो
as
भी हमारा डिवाइस होता है आज की तारीख में, वी आर
well.
यूजिंग ऑल स्मार्ट डिवाइसेस. एप्पल है, एंड्रॉइड्स हैं, और सब कुछ क्लाउड बेस्ड है. क्लाउड, व्हेन आई यूज दिस वर्ड क्लाउड, मींस व्हाटएवर आई एम डूइंग, it is stored in someone else computer server with my identity and my password. And password has become a very old thing. It can be breached. It can be breached. आपका डेटा ब्रीच हो जाता है. रोज पढ़ते रहते हैं. अभी 2 बिलियन कितने यूजर्स बिग बास्केट का डेटा चोरी हो गया. अभी थोड़े दिन पहले जोमेटो वालों का चोरी हो गया. अब हमने तो अपना पासवर्ड आपके कंप्यूटर में डाला और आपके कंप्यूटर का ही डेटा चोरी हो गया, तो मेरा पासवर्ड तो गया ना. So today password is not going to secure for device, for your Gmail, for your Apple ID, for your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Zoom. The first thing which you learn is security. And security में एक ही ऑप्शन आता है कि साहब 2 चाबियां लगानी पड़ेंगी, एक चाबी से काम नहीं चलेगा. एंड उसको हमारे यहाँ इंग्लिश में कहते हैं 2 स्टेप वेरिफिकेशन या 2 फैक्टर ऑथेंटिकेशन. अब इसके
Right.
बिना तो जिंदगी चली नहीं सकती आपकी.
Hmm.
तो आज अगर आप इनमें से कोई भी चीज यूज करते हैं, एंड्रॉइड, एप्पल, गूगल, याहू, फेसबुक, इंस्टाग्राम, ट्विटर, जूम, स्नैपचैट,
सब
आप
लोग
उसकी
चीजें यूज.
सेटिंग्स में जाओ, वहां पे सिक्योरिटी वर्ड मिलेगा. वहां ये आपको ऑप्शन मिलेगा 2FA. 2FA का मतलब जैसे हमारे बैंक के लॉकर होते हैं ना, 2 चाबियों से खुलते हैं, ऐसे ही अब आपका पासवर्ड मान लो मैंने चोरी कर लिया, मैं जैसे आपकी जीमेल खोलने की कोशिश करूंगा वो मुझे रोक देगा. वो कहेगा भाई साहब ओटीपी लाओ पहले, एंड दैट ओटीपी और दैट सेकंड कोड विल ओनली कम टू योर पर्सनल डिवाइस.
Right.
So that is one thing called security. जो मैं and the second word I used was privacy. कि when I open my account on WhatsApp and I put my profile picture, it asks me, do you want to show it to everyone, only your contacts, or no one? So it is my call. आज फेसबुक पे लोग बहुत ये गलती करते हैं कि उनकी पूरी फ्रेंड लिस्ट खुली हुई है, अबाउट खुला हुआ है. खुला हुआ से when I say खुला हुआ means it is in public. So if I just search, I'm not your friend, and I search your profile and I can see everything about you, that makes you vulnerable. So
Right.
now in privacy, you've got an option to lock your profile or to control your profile. If you can control means about us, everyone.
Right.
Date of
Right.
birth, friends only. Friend list, friends only. Nobody
Only.
can see when is my anniversary and who is my wife and who is my son or daughter. So वो चीजें, ये इसे प्राइवेसी कहते हैं. तो ये दो अगर हम चीजों पे ध्यान दें, whatever application you use, the day you install a new application, I can't come and teach every application every day. Every day there is a new app evolving.
Right.
You should
Right.
know how to, and I use the word digital identity. And there are 2 digital identities today when you get into the cyber ecosystem. One is your email address and the second is your SIM card. इन दो को आपको ऐसे रखना है जैसे आप घर में अपनी ज्वेलरी और अपने जायदाद के कागज संभाल के रखते हो. 2 चीजें, email address and your SIM card, the mobile number which you are carrying. You can't play with these two things. And these two things have to be very safe. We call it the digital identity, because with my email ID, my phone is connected with my phone, my Facebook, Instagram, Paytm, Google Pay, and everything is connected to OTP. OTP का पे आता है SIM कार्ड पे. तो ये दो चीजें हमें बहुत सीरियसली समझना चाहिए.
Yeah. So the awareness, the education, and I think refining it once again is the need of the hour for children, for adults, and I think more so for the adults, so that they can guide children, because otherwise it's becoming free for all, as if the etiquettes and the moral fabric has torn in the digital area. But it's not like that. We need to kind of do that. But tell me, Rakshitji, how stringent is the law? Because there are all laws in our country, but the implementation of the law, how stringent is that, and how protected are we as the citizens? Because I think the other way.
Here I would like to say we need more stringent laws. Number one, there is a need of the hour now. After 20 years of the cyber law, which was created in 2000, the year 2000, IT Act, Information Technology Act, under which all the cyber space is governed. And then it was slightly amended in 2008. From 2000 to 2020-21, India has reached height in digital revolution now. Today, we have 130 crore people in our country. 100 crores are having a mobile phone. 70 crore are on internet. 126 crore people have an Aadhaar identity. So in this era, and where we have crossed billion, I think it was 1.7 billion in December, UPI transaction, something in this. So in this digital India and digital revolution, yes, there's a need of the hour that we should amend the cyber laws and make them more stringent. When it comes to child protection and pornography, the laws, I would say, are very good and stringent. You have 7 years of punishment and 10 lakh rupees fine. But when it comes to online frauds and all, I think that has to be made more stringent now. And so yes, there is a need of reform. But looking at the other positive side here, a lot of work has been done at the government level in the cybercrime domain. Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center has been made, I4C, which has created an online portal. The MHA, Griha Mantralaya, has made an online cybercrime reporting portal where you can sit at home and report any crime. And they have special categories for women and children and for other crimes.
Yeah.
It is called cybercrime.
But at the implementation level, the changes
are happening. Enforcement and implementation level, a lot of work has to be done yet. There are some states who have picked it up very well, but there is some more work to be done. Yes.
Yeah. So Rakshitji, I think 4 days back only I read in the newspaper that this boy in UP, he created an email address. He hacked his
threatened their own family.
Yeah, he hacked their account and he asked them for money and all of that.
So that is where I want parental control. This is my concern. This is called online grooming. Ma'am, there is so much of content on internet. One Google and you will find millions and thousands of videos. And when I talk to my children, I know it fascinates them, the word hacking and all. They want to become a hacker. I say first learn the basic principles, the coding, the networking. Become a cybersecurity professional. 3.8 million jobs are lying empty in cybersecurity domain right now. But the problem is that they are at tender age. 5 साल, 10 साल का बच्चा अगर YouTube पे hacking के videos देखेगा, और it will. That's what I say. The word I used was online grooming, and it's a very scary thing. The content grooms you. The content grooms you into a negative, and that is where parental control and filters are very, very important. When you are giving open internet access in your home and Wi-Fi, you don't even know. The child will say, I'm doing my homework on my phone. Now you can't stop him today because the schools are online. But you could see that and it's not the first case. This case came out, so you know about it. I have personally handled such cases.
Yeah.
And I was the first one to say कि it will be your child only, and no parents will acknowledge, अरे नहीं मेरा बच्चा तो बहुत innocent है, वो तो कुछ करता ही नहीं है. मैंने देखा है बच्चों को डुअल पर्सनालिटीज में जाते हुए. वो रियल लाइफ में बिल्कुल रक्षित टंडन है, और ऑनलाइन वो कूल बॉय 21 बन जाते हैं.
This is
उनकी
another,
आइडेंटिटी,
yeah,
हाँ, the
this is
split
another issue. Have
personality.
a digital identity and have another identity.
Tuji,
But
that's what I said. In real life, I'm Rakshit Tandon, but online, when I will chat with you, I'm cool guy 21 at gmail.com. How do you
yeah,
identify me? तो
scary.
ये हुआ है, ये बहुत scary है. इसके लिए, as I mentioned, we should have on filters on this kind of content serving, like YouTube में भी है, एक restricted filter होता है. फिर Google ने बड़ा अच्छा प्लेटफॉर्म एक तैयार किया हुआ है, वो फ्री है, गूगल फैमिली लिंक. अच्छा, आई नेवर से टू पेरेंट्स कि आप स्पाई करो बच्चों के डिवाइस पे, वो बिल्कुल भी हेल्दी हैबिट नहीं है, बल्कि आप पॉजिटिव डिजिटल हैबिट्स क्रिएट करो. बच्चे को भी अपनी प्राइवेसी चाहिए, वो स्पाइंग सॉफ्टवेयर नहीं है. गूगल फैमिली लिंक क्या है? मैंने अपने बेटे का फोन को अपने फोन से कनेक्ट कर दिया. अब मेरा बेटे को कोई ऐप डाउनलोड करना है, एज अ पेरेंट मेरे पास मैसेज आएगा, माय सन वांट्स टू डाउनलोड दिस ऐप, अप्रूव और डिनाई. मैं एज अ अवेयर पेरेंट उस ऐप की एज रेटिंग देखूंगा, रिव्यूज देखूंगा और कंटेंट देखूंगा. मैंने देखा ठीक है, मैंने अप्रूव कर दिया. फिर मैंने बेटे से कहा 2.5 आवर्स फॉर ऑल योर सोशल मीडिया एंड गेमिंग. तो 2.5 आवर के बाद वो फोन के ऐप्स लॉक हो जाएंगे. मैंने कहा आप रात को नेट नहीं चलाएंगे तो 11 बजे से सुबह 7 बजे तक आपका फोन बंद रहेगा. उसके बाद अच्छे ऐप्स, अब आप टीचर हो, आप स्कूल में बैठे हो, आप वहां से एक बटन पुश करोगे और आपके बच्चे की स्क्रीन पे रिकमेंडेशन आ जाएंगे. इतू मैम जो आपकी टीचर है, उन्होंने ये एप्स बच्चे के लिए रिकमेंड किए हैं. So I think nothing like it. It's a free platform. Any parent can implement this. You don't have to pay a single penny, but this will create good digital habits for your
Yeah.
children.
So that means discipline from parents and an example you have to set. You have to first discipline yourself, and then you can, your children learn from what
And
they see.
Ituji, one thing I'll tell you, and I'd like to mention this, I have seen that positive change also with some wonderful young children who have tried to bring that change. Either they've got
Yes,
inspired by people like us. There are some wonderful children who have
yes,
created such a positive platform on internet. And with
yes,
the same internet, they're trying to reach out to communities either on bullying, either on teenage talking,
yes,
or either on body shaming. And they have come out and step forward. And
absolutely.
they're very young in age.
Yes,
They've
there
done
is.
some creative activities during their. I was so fascinated when they invited me for live sessions. Well, sir, you please join us as a chief guest and all. And I was so happy to see that work. So
Yes,
I would say that it is in everyone. We have to just bring it out. If your child loves technology, try to give him the positive side of the technology.
absolutely.
And being a hacker is not bad. I want to tell everyone that I'm also a certified ethical hacker, and I have never done any crime in
Most
my
stress of
life.
word ethical.
Ethical. And I do help so many organizations and companies so that they can prevent their platforms from being hacked, right?
Mm.
And I do keep getting such messages, sir, can you hack my boyfriend's phone and check what is he cheating on me or not? Maine kaha, beta, that is your mental problem. I'm sorry, I will not
Mm.
commit a crime because it is your boyfriend or your girlfriend. So
Mm.
ethical hacking is important. You have to tell them what is right and what is wrong. Children are wonderful. They are very creative. They're very inspiring. I've been very fortunate to get in touch with so many good children who have done it on internet wonders.
Mm. True, true. But
Namaste,
I'd
Jerry.
like to,
Namaste.
abhi aayenge Jerry. But I'd like to ask you, there are a lot of questions around it, and I think Jerry will touch upon those. But what is your take on the fact that, this right head junior, और आज तो मेरे Gmail में उनका mail भी आ गया, मुझे भी आ गया. And I feel it's ethically so incorrect to say that your child could become a coder at the age of 6 and earn a certain millions. So
Nahin, nahin.
so isn't it selling
This
unethical
is
thing
selling and
to the
marketing
parents, and the parents are buying it?
parents also. I don't know how parents can buy
And
that.
Rakshit ji, और ये मतलब it's flooded the internet, and it's playing with the psyche of the children and the
Yes.
parents and the teachers. And I have seen some great Bollywood artists and people from all realm of lives and pursuing different things, uh, actually talking about it,
I don't know
endorsing
how.
it.
I have always been of this opinion that if
Hmm.
we basics of coding, I use the word basics of coding.
Hmm.
I still remember in every school when computer was introduced, a language called BASIC. That was a basic
Hmm.
language which was introduced. Then a C basic, and that was introduced in India in our curriculum. I think sixth onwards.
Hmm.
Every child used to make small programs, write a program, and that was good for them and just making them understand what is programming. Number one, and number two, also giving a logical aptitude to their mindset. That was good. Now, same way I read biology in sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, and 10th and 11th. And then finally in 11th and 12th, I got to dissect some animals and I did practicals with chemicals in chemistry lab. But I never saw a sixth grader doing that practical. So
True.
knowledge was given to you as per your age and mental aptitude. So there are fields. Technology is one field. Programming today, I am a programmer. I am a developer. But yes, by the age of 11th and 12th, if you are very good in programming, you would see people developing some tools. But they can't have a professional approach because to get a professional approach to make a product, you have to understand so many other facets. Like just writing a code will not make you a developer or an app developer, right? So, but in all these fields, you have never seen any company coming and saying that in sixth standard we'll make your son a doctor. He will start doing surgery. You've
True.
never seen in any, even in engineering, you have never seen that after reading this mathematics, your son can go in NASA directly in sixth standard or 7 years of age. So I'm not commenting on any product or their marketing or advertising technique. But yes, parents should be sensible enough here to understand. Like, how can I say that a 7-year-old can become a billionaire? Like,
By
prodigies are
learning.
there, right?
Hmm.
But then I fail to understand that. Number one. Number two, yes, coding is good. We should teach coding basic level, and it should increase as per the mental aptitude, and that will always help. That will always, as a computer professional, I'm saying that I have seen it that if you from I think fifth grade and sixth grade you start giving the basic knowledge of programming to children, the fear of mathematics goes away. That is
Hmm.
what I've seen. But that is always there in the school. They have designed levels, CBSE also, ICSE also. If you look at the, and then 10th standard or ninth standard, children used to work on Java also. That was also coding only. And they are all our children. You can ask them; they must have studied in computer science,
No, but
Blue
that is,
J, Java.
yeah, but that is different. I'm saying there is no law
I,
or enforcement of
I,
law in peddling this ethically
it is
wrong
true.
thing to the students, to the children, to their parents.
Yes, it is wrong, and the way the message is conveyed, there is
Yes.
always we as experts will always look at with the double side, but then you have to be careful that what kind of a audience you are talking to.
Yeah.
Every audience will not be very diplomatic in understanding the marketing gimmick or the marketing sentiments you are playing around.
Yeah.
So yes, 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 it is there.
And my last question to you is before I call in Jerry is that, internet is our right as a democracy.
Yeah.
And then how is it that the government controls it completely in areas that they want to, which they are doing in the times now that we are sitting, in very
So I
sensitive places where it's required, in the farmers' protests like that?
I'm a very neutral person to this, and I don't belong to any political party. I remember one of the journalists was also trying to do an interview on this with me on the internet shutdowns in the country. India has recorded the largest number of internet
Yeah.
shutdowns, and it
Yes.
is economically also hurting the economy also because I'll give you my live example and then I'll come to the point. I was in Varanasi for an event, a training event,
Hmm.
and that was a period when the Ram Bhumi thing, the Janam Bhumi, the verdict was supposed to come out, the final verdict, and
Hmm.
internet was shut down in those areas totally.
Hmm.
And after a tired day, I entered into a restaurant to have some dinner. And at the gate, the gatekeeper said, "Cash hai aapke paas?" मैं समझा नहीं. It was very rude for such a nice hotel restaurant to ask कि आपके पैसे हैं. मैंने am I not dressed appropriately or what? Why is he asking that? कार्ड नहीं चलेगा, इंटरनेट बंद है, आप कैश है तो ठीक है, नहीं तो कार्ड नहीं चलेगा, पेटीएम नहीं चलेगा, वीजा कार्ड, मास्टर कार्ड कुछ नहीं चलेगा. So that was the reason he said that whether you have cash. And that was where I realized that how internet can hit the economy also when you do shutdown. But then coming to the point, Ituji, I have been working very closely with the agencies. I have seen the effects. I have seen the, and you would agree to this that आप भी जब अपना WhatsApp खोलते हो तो कभी कभी कैसा कैसा कंटेंट आ जाता है, मतलब at times it is, and especially during the COVID-19 हमारे पास मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन बहुत थी, बहुत ज्यादा मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन. 1 सेकंड लगता है मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन बनाने में हमारे यहाँ और माइंडसेट को चेंज करने में. पहले एक खबर जो रेड किले पे, रेड फोर्ट पे कोई घटना हुई, उसकी एक वीडियो आप एक एंगल से देखोगे, दूसरे एंगल से देखोगे, और उसको जो कंप्यूटर से मतलब there is a very serious technology which we are going to face and it's already started. It's called deep fake. अगर आप थोड़ा सा उसके बारे में जानेंगे तो अभी आपने देखा होगा क्वीन एलिजाबेथ का एक डीप फेक वीडियो क्रिसमस पे ब्रॉडकास्ट हुआ था. तो हमारा वो स्केयर है आज की तारीख में. तो मैं उस समय एजेंसीज की, मैंने वो प्रेशर देखा है जब एक फेक न्यूज वायरल हो रही होती है और उससे एलएनओ जो लॉ एंड ऑर्डर सिचुएशन है वो इतनी ज्यादा टेंस हो जाती है, क्योंकि आपको भी मालूम है कि ट्विस्ट एंड टर्न करते हैं. अब मैं इसमें किसी के पॉलिटिकल वेंडेटा पे नहीं जा रहा कि वो एक पार्टी कराती है तो दूसरी कराती है या तीसरा, मैं उसको बिल्कुल नहीं जानता. मैं प्योर हिंदुस्तानी आदमी हूँ, मेरी कोई पार्टी नहीं है. लेकिन मैं ये जानता हूँ कि हाँ, अगर उस समय ये नहीं किया जाए तो उसके जो इफेक्ट्स होंगे वो बहुत बुरे हो जाते हैं, और हमने ऐसा देखा है पास्ट में. तो वो जो कंट्रोल करते हैं नेट को और जो शटडाउन करने पड़ते हैं वो इसीलिए. जम्मू कश्मीर तो आपको पता ही है कितनी बार हुआ.
तो मतलब जम्मू कश्मीर तो दिल्ली में भी बना हुआ है और हम
अब तो
भी
दिल्ली में बन गया, अब तो कहीं भी बन सकता है.
हम हिंदुस्तानी है रेक्स पे, बिल्कुल. वी आर ऑल इंडियंस, वी से. पर मैं ये चाहूंगी कि
मैम आप सोचो ना, सोशल, जब हमारा सोशल मीडिया पे कंट्रोल है नहीं, हमारा फेक न्यूज पे कंट्रोल है नहीं, हमारे जो सेंटिमेंट्स बिगड़ते हैं एक न्यूज की वजह से. जो अब मैं आपको एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल देता हूँ. अभी
I'd like to invite Jerry in now at this point of time so that we can carry forward the
Noida में when this lockdown was going down.
Yeah, so Jerry, we're waiting for you to come into the discussion.
Yes, Rakshit ji, namaste. Go ahead. You were saying Noida mein.
So in Noida, during the lockdown period, we were all, because it was lockdown, total strict lockdown, and we started receiving messages on our society groups and here groups that there is a particular medicine you take, being recommended by a doctor. It was a homeopathic medicine. And if you buy that medicine, it will help you to fight COVID. Achha, that was the early times of lockdown where everybody was very, very scared about this COVID and they were not having a clear. And you won't believe that these homeopathic stores, this doubled the price. And this medicine within 4 hours was out of stock. So imagine the impact of one message which you send and you forward. And I have been a part of some very sensitive investigations also, where when I see that content, I remember, and one case I will mention here, it happened with Gurgaon police. Somebody took a picture of a masjid and there were people with swords. And this picture went viral, saying that somewhere in Haryana this happened and police is not taking cognizance. I immediately went on the job and I started doing reverse engineering, and I found it's a 4-year-old picture which was actually published in a newspaper in Pakistan, and this was in some Pakistan village where this incident happened. And the same picture came out after 4 years with a separate different message, trying to sensitize and create a law and order situation. So when these kind of things come, we the only rescue for the current government or the police commissioner of that particular city understanding what would happen to LNO, the law and order situation, is to shut down the internet. But yes, internet is right. And these shutdowns, India has been the highest number of shutdowns, I would say. Highest number.
Yeah. Over to you, Jerry.
So, what are your What are your thoughts about all these social media people who kind of keep playing around that 14 is good enough for people to start using social media, 12 is good enough. What do you think is the right age for?
So
Um,
why it is 16 in Europe? That is my question I would start with.
and then
Because Europe
why is
has
it 14 over here?
not 14, it is 12 plus. If you look at the applications, they actually say 13
Hmm.
for India.
Hmm.
And because of the GDPR in Europe, they have made it 16 also. And as per me, and now the current conditions, children have become a little, I would say. But I'm just talking in the reference of 10 years because I've been in this space for 15, 18 years, 18 plus years now. And I have spoken to children in 2008, and I'm talking to them in 2020 when I have seen a drastic change.
Right.
So there should be a balanced age for social media because we all know that what kind of content is there, and we first of all either are we preparing them for this? That is what is missing. Either we prepare them so they don't understand the meaning of influencer, they don't understand the meaning of trolling, they don't understand the meaning of obscene and content. So that is very very important here. And I think the same, if we can spread this word and we can educate them to create good content, in the time to come, the children also realize that, oh, he's sending a fake picture. Let me block him. So
Hmm.
now, and they only can make a better place to the social media. But then the new concepts of dating and dating apps coming in, and these apps themselves, they try to promote.
What are the dating apps?
Dating apps are hookup apps. So there are
No,
so
no, no,
many
no.
of them.
I'm saying, what are the dating apps which are there in the market? India also
Uh,
has dating apps.
yes, India has one of our uh, uh, very popular actress has launched one of the apps, Bumble, Priyanka Chopra, and Tinder is there, and many other, many others.
Bumble.
I only get these references when something goes wrong. I keep
Okay, okay.
only getting cases that somebody has made a fake profile on a dating app, and I'm getting unusual calls or something like that. So,
Mhm.
there.
So it's very nice to see a lot of Karmavir certificates behind.
So
Yes.
thanks to Rex, yes.
So you think that the right age for kids to get onto the mobile or on any app is 16, right?
So yes, I would say 16. Not mobile. Mobile, they can start using it earlier as well because
What
now.
would you say is the right age to get a mobile?
So I would have always advocated that a person after sixth standard only should get his mobile phone to
Hmm.
use.
Hmm.
Devices like laptops and computer, they can start
Yeah,
early as
but
well with
at sixth
tablets.
standard you can give them a analog mobile just for security and phone.
Security and safety purpose. But Jerry, like in the cyber schools now, in the COVID period where the education was online, so there was no other option. Yes, there was parental control and parental guidance for the young ones, but for
Hmm.
like the father mother both have to work from home, and they also
Right,
have to be glued to their devices. So they had
right,
no other option than, and phone is the cheapest rather than for every, in an Indian economy, every father cannot buy a 50,000 rupee laptop for every child and give it to them for their classes. Rather
right.
than they could go for a 7,000 8,000 rupee smartphone and give it to them and they
Today
can do their.
laptops are also available for 5,000.
They must be. I agree, but
No,
but
the reason I'm asking is because I completely agree with you when it comes to the affordability factor. But like if you've seen this movie called White Tiger, which a lot of people are speaking against,
hmm,
these are those entitled elite Indians who don't like to be told that India is bad, or India has caste system, or India has two sides, the light side of India and the dark side of India. I'm not a big fan of Aravind Adiga or of Priyanka Chopra, but I completely agree and endorse what the movie is saying, right? Which is that when you marginalize people and make them subservient, then they will also rebel and retaliate in their own way.
defend it.
है ना? Right? Now you can
Right.
see what is happening. And I'm like you, I'm also non-partisan and apolitical, but I wouldn't say I'm neutral.
Hmm,
Neutral basically means that you are agreeing to what is happening in the country. है ना? That neutrality is our biggest problem. I
hmm,
call it
hmm,
apathy, right? So you surely have to take sides, and and speak out against what is wrong. And right now I take sides with the farmers, because surely what government is doing, whether it was बीजेपी or Congress, wouldn't matter. मोदी होता है, राहुल गांधी होता है, अगर
ये
तुम
तो
कर
है।
रहे हो तो तुम गलत कर रहे हो,
हम्म,
है कि नहीं? तुम इंटरनेट ब्लॉक कर रहे हो लोगों का, तो they will also find different ways of then communicating.
communicating.
But that is the socio-political scenario. I'm talking right now purely from a domestic scenario. Like I was saying, the light side of India is Noida, Greater Noida, Gurgaon, Delhi. The
Hmm.
elite, entitled, urban
Hmm.
people, urban and suburban people, है ना? So these people love to give the smartphones to their kids, right? है ना? Because खुद खुद भी मतलब वो BMW में घूमते हैं, आईफोन लेटेस्ट होना चाहिए, है ना? तो मतलब they are defined by their objects that they use. That is their esteem. So they also bring up their children similarly. And I remember this is a real incident. Huh? I think Jugnu had spoken to you at that time, because our son became a victim of
Bullying. Yep.
cyberbullying.
Yes.
And poor, I mean, we had not given our son a phone at that time. And he was around 13, right? Because we bought him a phone the next year. So if I feel 14 is the right time to buy them a phone, but
14 plus.
surely not the right time for them to get onto an Instagram or a Facebook. Now, all his other friends were on Instagram, and they took a picture of him by his, like, because he was in another boy's house the couple of nights before. They had क्या बोलते हैं उसे, a stay over, right?
Night out.
Night out. And while he was looking at the phone, somebody took a picture and said he's looking at so and so girl.
Right.
Who's
And
another
that is
girl
how
over
it
there?
was.
Right. And that other girl saw it, and because she was on
Complaint.
Insta, and she reached out to us that somebody's played, because she knows that Zorawar won't do that.
Hmm.
But this has happened to him. And I remember Jugnu had called you at that time,
Yeah.
because we were
Right.
trying
Right.
to track who are the people. Now
People.
we tracked who the boys were. And unfortunately, one was a very close friend of Zorawar's. And of course, he says it did it in jest, without realizing that
But
could lead
that is
to,
most of the issues are like that
yeah,
only.
now that
They
could
do
lead to
it out
major
of that.
repercussions. So I have nothing against the boy. I mean, I won't say boys will be boys, but kids sometimes fool around with each other.
Fool
You pull
around.
each
Yes.
other's legs. But my problem was the next week was sports day, and I was just generally speaking to the parents that, why would you encourage your children to be on Insta? But one of the parents tells me happily,
Hmm.
and a very educated parent. I mean, I believe she's like a IIT, IIM, and things like that. And she tells me, but the school has not sent us a circular saying that your kids should not. Like,
Good.
don't you have any common sense? Does the school have to tell you everything? So my problem is with this kind of people, and this kind of people are by far many. You will
Many.
see the
Yes.
silence right now in Gurgaon, Noida, and these are only bothered about their BMW cars, iPhones, and Mont Blanc pens and Omega watches. They give a damn what is happening to the farmer. You'll see the
Hmm.
chatter on Facebook. Oh, these are all rich farmers. Look at the cars they have. Are only corporate idiots can have cars? Can't farmers have cars? Farmers also work hard and earn their
Yeah.
money,
Work hard, earn
They
money.
work
Yes.
much harder than the people in the corporate sector. The corporate sector, the Gallup organization study shows you the average guy in the corporate work for 3 hours a day, right? So the problem lies in the sense of entitlement. And you're actually questioning that the school has not sent a circular.
Hmm.
Now, why should the school send you a circular saying that don't give your kids a phone till the age of 14, or don't get them on Insta? Don't
They
you have
always
now the,
schools
ne-
have always tried.
no, that's why I started by asking you what is the age, because the next thing they'll say, oh, but Zuckerberg and this fellow says that 14 is okay. And Zuckerberg will say anything. Zuckerberg is a
तो वो
Zucker.
अगर वो 13 प्लस वहाँ कह रहे हैं तो देयर इज अ डिफरेंस इन द brought up and the development also, and their
Absolutely.
curriculum, they have a compulsory curriculum called digital citizenship curriculum, and this I had been shouting out for almost 10 years with every good school that start your digital citizenship curriculum so that a student knows what I am, a digital citizen, and
But Rakshit,
I know my responsibilities on social media, on whatever tools I use, whether I'm using a photograph or a camera phone. I remember I went to one of the British schools, and there, as usual, if you see my post, I keep clicking pictures of one or two events, and I post it on my social media. That today I had a seminar, and they clicked some pictures, and I came and I posted, and I immediately got a call. I said, Mr. Tandon, we don't have parental consent, and for these children to put their pictures on social
Mm,
media.
mm.
And I was happy. Immediately, within 30 seconds of that call, I removed that post and I apologized. I said, yes, because in India, when you go, everywhere you go, you click pictures, they will post it. They tag us, they tag me. And that is where I learned a lesson for myself. And I said that if you have a parental consent, that is what is called digital citizenship. So they can have it there. Why can't we have it here? But here,
No,
any child without anybody's permission can use a picture and
but
post it, because that is the kind of social media we are learning.
But Rakshit, let us understand one thing, that it is not about saying that they can have it there. The reason the Zuckerbergs of the world, and Zuckerberg is one of your biggest culprits of doing everything wrong, right? The reason the Zuckerbergs of the world follow the rules and regulations over there, because if anything goes wrong, there will
Hmm.
be huge legal suits against him.
Yes,
He will have to pay through his teeth. He will become a pauper overnight.
right.
In India, like all banks take us for granted and all consumer companies take us for granted, we have been taken for granted.
Okay.
That's why here you're peddling 13 years and 14 years, while over there you will adhere to that 16-year rule,
Very strict. Yes, yes.
right?
I would
Because
agree to that.
over there, tort applies, laws apply. You'll be in court. Zuckerberg will have to pay through his teeth. Over here, he's taken us for granted.
So we need a strong, as I mentioned earlier, also that IT Act was made in the year 2000, and a slight amendment was done in 2008. After that, there has been no amendment. So we need more stringent laws and
No,
enforcement
but
both.
I see the
And
enforcement.
Jerry, the
It's
data protection bill is still pending. It is still
it's not.
pending in.
I think how much enforcement will you do? I think this calls for common sense. Yeah? If you have the Rajdeep Sardesais of the world, uh, you know, yes, the law that they're enforcing against them is very is 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 it's not draconian. It's just harassment, right? But that said, don't you have some sense, man? Anant Nath, Rajdeep, so you guys are seasoned journalists. Why should you all tweet without doing a check,
Mm,
right? Because that also creates fear psychosis on the other side,
other side.
right? So yes, they should be taught a lesson surely, and because they've been doing it once too often,
Mm, mm.
right? Now you have that post of those cops dressed up, RSS guys dressed up as cops. They've been floating from 2019, from when CAA protest started. The
Started.
same thing was repackaged and sent again in the farmer protest, and
Mm.
people merrily forward it.
Yeah.
So this no matter what kind of rules and regulations you create,
You bring
the
common
common
sense.
sense is uncommon. So I mean, how do you kind of tackle that now? If the Rajdeeps of the world are doing it, who call themselves very intelligent news hounds and investigative journalists and falana titles, right? Then how do you blame kids for not having that sense?
Okay. I
Yes or
can't.
no?
Yes.
So therein lies the problem. So I mean, it's like it's like we are governed by fake news and false propaganda, and then you want to make your kids victims by exposing them
Them to those
to this kind of
content.
fake propaganda, not only porn and other things which are happening on the dark net, but
Mm.
also fake propaganda, because that influences a young mind, no?
It's not only happening on the dark, but it's also happening on the surface web, whether it's
Absolutely. So,
porn
so
and malwares or
I
viruses.
think this calls
Email.
for more of parental lessons, and that's where I'm planning a small 10-15 minute parental capsule,
Okay.
and maybe you can design it for us.
I'll do that. I'd love to
Yeah,
do that. I mentioned
like
earlier that issue also,
what should
cyber
the
parenting,
age
technology
be?
parenting, yes,
What
age,
should
and
the
what
age
are the
be?
ditch controls and where. And I always talk about these five principles when I talk to children on digital citizenship. Is one is responsibility, which is very important. That you're consuming an application which is meant for your age, and you know that, and the parents know it, approve it, that the content is reviewed. Like a child that day I found was playing an 18 plus game, which is full of violence, blood, sex, and alcohol, and he is just 11 years old.
No,
And
no,
the
no.
game itself has given that warning 18 plus. And the same I am facing with the OTT platforms right now, where children are now digital, they are using digital entertainment platforms, and there are so many platforms with so much of bold content, which is
and
not appropriate. And even if it is appropriate, there's no one to flush it out. Nobody there to
absolutely.
even tell you what is pornography is right or wrong, or abuse is right or wrong. You are giving a right society message, but to whom? Who is your consumer? On internet, in a picture, in a film theater, you can stop. Okay, you are below 18, you can't go in this picture hall. But when it comes to my mobile, how can you stop that? I
True.
just have to press a button. Are you 18 out? I say okay. He will say okay, fine, watch it. And there is where the negative, and that is what Tuji, you mentioned earlier about that case which happened in UP, where a 10-year-old was playing around and extorting their own family for money and trying to give extortion calls and emails just by learning it through YouTube, by going through those hacking videos. And he could groom himself so negative that he could torture his own family for
Yeah.
15 days. And he saw police coming in, going out, and he was threatening the police in the messages that I know you
Yes.
came in and you have taken this for you. So this is
Yeah.
scary. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So these 5 values is responsibility, respect, compassion, resilience, and integrity. I always say that. So when you give a phone to your child, responsibility is first, respect, compassion, that you help people and you don't start forwarding anything which happens wrong or right. You should have that empathy. And fourth is resilience. कुछ अच्छा है बुरा है तो आपको पता होना चाहिए how to handle that on internet. Internet is always not going to be good for you. So today we are doing this video, there will be 10 people who will be shouting out and saying पता नहीं क्या बक रहा है ये वो है. So it should not affect my work mojos that I will stop working. नहीं मैं गलत कर रहा हूँ या सही कर रहा हूँ. He's nobody there. So resilience जरूरी है और integrity भी बहुत जरूरी है कि आप content कहाँ से ला रहे हो. यहाँ तो cut copy paste हो जाता है साहब 2 सेकंड के अंदर इंटरनेट पे. You do
Resilience is
something.
also very important for self-esteem, because a lot of
What?
people are being told to get off social media because their self-esteem takes a beating. Oh,
Self-esteem.
Itu
Yes.
is driving a car because Itu is also standing on the BMW and purposely flaunting,
Posing.
है ना? So
Right.
that the
Self
Joneses feel
esteem hurt हो जाता है.
uh,
Yes.
hurt
Yes.
ho jata. So that is what. So therein lies the
So
thing.
these 5 core values, I think, in with young kids, and we can design a program for cyber parenting. I would
Right.
love to be a
But
part of it.
let's put a timeline to it. I'll send you a message straight away,
Please do
because
that.
let's
Please.
because otherwise you go missing, I go missing, and
No,
everybody
Yeah,
goes
no,
he goes
I'll not
missing
go
a lot,
missing.
but he's also going to come for our Mills program
Your
as well.
Mills program, I'm
He's
coming. Yes,
already promised.
आप कभी
I
कभी
will.
मोदी की तरह बन जाते हो, मिसिंग इन एक्शन. जैसे कि गुफा में चले जाके मतलब मेडिटेशन कर
नहीं
रहे
सर,
हो.
आई एम हियर. बिल्कुल, आई विल बी हियर
नहीं रक्षित जी, आज
डेफिनेटली.
आप हमारे पास आए, हम आपको बता रहे हैं कि बट यू नो वन वंडरफुल थिंग्स दैट वी आई हैव लर्नड टुडे फ्रॉम यू, एंड आई थिंक वी शुड मेक दैट कैप्सूल ऑन digital identity, online citizen, e-moral science, device control, and digital citizenship. And I think we've got lots to capture in there.
Right, great.
So,
All right, sir. So pleasure speaking
Thank
with you,
you.
and thank you
Sir,
so much
always
for
a
your
pleasure.
insights. Pleasure,
Thank
and
you.
great.
Thank
Thank you
thank you
so
you.
so
much.
much, Rakshit.
Namaste. Namaste. Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See, bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye. Take care.